audience. I am Camille Shabazz, and this right here is basically a part two to my Brian Laundrie, Gabby Petito story talk that I gave the other night, which by the way was more disliked than liked, and I understand why. It's because of the Me Too movement climate that has given women in general a carte blanche to practically do anything to a man, as illustrated in the video with Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie, that they're getting away with doing any and everything to man, and it's all good. But as you can see, unfortunately, this time it backfired. Because had the police, who we refer to in the Makkadeen as the Keystone Police, the Keystone Kops, had they done their job properly, Gabby Petito would be alive today. But this subject right here is Brian and Gabby from a Makkadeen perspective. This is a Makkadeen analysis. On page, actually in our glossary, which by the way, the Makkadeen has 109 word glossary. 309, well, I think it's 315 pages total. Brilliant book that is in total synchronization with the time in which we're living in. This is not just any put together book. This is essential knowledge for both boys and men, so that we can fully avoid what Brian Laundrie partially avoided, and which is why he's now a fugitive. Now there's actually two descriptions for man and woman today in the Makkadeen. One being an alfalfa, which Brian Laundrie clearly was and is. And in our glossary, it reads in regards to alfalfa, it says alfalfa is a sucker for love and false, unproven concepts. Alfalfa is a man who falls for the commercialized concepts of love, life, and reality to the degree of self-degradation and destruction. Totally Brian Laundrie. He's an emotional and indecisive beta male who is shy, unsure of himself, undisciplined, and the favorite snack of dizzies and heroines, which are two descriptions that we also talk about in the Makkadeen, which Gabby Petito was one of. She was a dizzy, which I'm going to get into as well. But alfalfa, which this, by the way, comes from the Little Rascals. And you might say, damn, the Little Rascals? Why would you be referring to the Little Rascals? Because television is all about social engineering. And the goal of Hal Roach and Hollywood was to begin the process of creating the type of males that you have almost 90 years later. Beta males, alfalfas, dodos, dizzies. You have all these characters that come from alfalfa, from Spanky, from Darla. Because wherever there's an alfalfa at, there's a Darla in the middle. And the Keystone Kops, and if you know anything about Keystone Kops, a Keystone Kop actually is a humorously incompetent cop, as they showed themselves to be that when they allowed this blonde-haired white girl to bedazzle them, and to actually go through the whole process with them allowing her to leave free as a butterfly when they saw her not only assault the man, but turn the wheel and cause the man to crash into the curb. But all of that was all dismissed and excused. And because of that, that woman is dead. and Brian Laundrie is now a fugitive. Now, what type of woman? We got Brian Laundrie and the Keystone Kops being alfalfas, who I said they're the favorite snacks of dizzies. And what is a dizzy? A dizzy is spelled D-I-D-S-I-E, but it's pronounced dizzy. The D-I-D stands for damsel in distress. And that's actually that's the role that she played throughout the whole scene. Crying and lying at the same time. She admitted to hitting him and grabbing the steering wheel, and then she went back and said she didn't. Then they helped her with a script to fully exonerate herself. But what is a dizzy? Pronounced dizzy, she's a pathological drama queen of any age. She's the dame who sells, that is a damsel, lies and deceit to a damned fool, who we call Alfalfa, Adam, Confucius, etc., who in turn risks his life and limb to accommodate her fraudulent needs. Crocodile tears, sexual manipulation, and created crisis, accompanied with statements like, nobody loves me, I've been abused, I'm going to be evicted, I'm sick, I'm going to kill myself, etc. These are some of the lines used by dizzies to trick an Adam / alfalfa into going against his God self, that is common sense, and succumbing to her emotional toxicity, which all of them did that day. They all fell for her emotional toxicity. She told the police she suffered from anxiety and OCD. That alone is enough for them to have taken her to get mental help. She cried the whole hour and a half that the film was taking place. So she was already in a toxic emotional state. And when you're with somebody with OCD, and they were in the car for 6 weeks, when you're just in a room or in the same space as someone with OCD, they will drive you crazy just from being with them for a few minutes. But they were on the road together for 2 months. And that man obviously had the patience of Job, because I'm sure she was like that the whole time, being that she suffers from anxiety and OCD. So like he said, his feet being dirty, or whatever was dirty about him, it was a problem to her, and a startup or a trigger for an anxiety attack and an argument / fight. The dizzy, the dizzy, the dizzy, the dizzy. See, this book, you got to get this book. This book is timely. This book is giving you the keys to avoiding what Brian Laundrie went through. And it illustrates, as the whole film illustrated in their situation, that there's a type of woman that's dominating America, and that's her, in all races, where they're just emotionally toxic. And this is being produced by social media, the foods that they're eating, mentally and physically, and the false concepts in their minds. So please, please, please keep in mind that you got these alfalfas in the police force, and most of American men are beta male alfalfas. And if you look at a lot of these cops, they pull over pretty women when they want to get a date with them. They'll create a reason to pull a woman that they think is pretty over, because now they're misusing their authority to get the type of woman that wasn't interested in them when they were in school, when they were getting bullied, and all the things that happened to them to make them the type of police officers that they are today. So be mindful and try not to go the way of an alfalfa. Get your masculinity in order by getting the right information in your brain, which is within the Makkadeen book. Get your copy today. It's on Amazon. And don't fall for the masculine shaming that's going on. Build your masculinity up. Go to the gym. Stop eating breads and beans and foods that are conventional. Get organic food. Drink water. Exercise every day. meditate, and keep your mind bathed in the right information. And stay away from the constant negative news, aka CNN, etc. More later. Peace.